Hello, welcome to another episode of Wealthy Minds Decoded. My name is Minesh Bindi.
And I'm Andy Shaw. Good evening.
Right. That's a good start to the show.
Yeah.
That's a
And we are, of course, joined
by our guest director,
Peter Harm.
Peter Harm, who has just done something to make us laugh, which is what his job is, really, from the last episode.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, what are we talking about today? Don't even start.
That's nice, Mikey.
Don't even start. This is what happens when you come to Andy's house, right? You get mugs like this.
I thought that was very apt for yourself there, mate. You know,
suits my personality, doesn't it?
It does. Bit of a boy, yeah. Anyway, without further ado, that's a nice tie you've got on. Without further ado,
you're complimenting me today. He's being nice. This is rare. What have I done so well today? I don't get it.
I'd say, Minesh, that tie is interesting. Well, today, guys, we're
hold on.
The director lost train of thought there. Hang on a second.
We're all screwed, basically. The director lost train of thought. Now, this show, what we want to talk about is something that's so important, and I think it's deep-rooted. We haven't got champagne either today, so I guess we're going to be serious and give some really good value.
That was a good idea.
To stop.
Yeah.
I think we're going to give some good value
That's
again.
what we decided.
It's dangerous.
Well, we don't know.
People might learn something. Right. What we're going to talk about is something that's deep-rooted into society, I think, and that is a fundamental thing that separates a wealthy mindset from a poor mindset. Pete, have you got the topic of what we're discussing?
Yes, guys. Today we're going to talk about...
Almost screwed that one up.
Entitlement mentality opposed to a gratitude mentality and how it affects your purchase of washing powders.
Right.
What Pete's trying to say, because he had trouble reading this out, is the difference between an entitlement mentality.
Shall I just do the whole show today?
You just do it. Yeah, I'll just sit here looking good.
So, well, good luck with that. Right. What we're going to talk about today is the difference between somebody who believes that they have a right to success versus somebody who is thankful for the success that they receive. And this is so deep rooted into society with the way, the way benefits are operated, in society. I think that really creates a very negative mindset when it comes to, I should be successful and it should be handed to me. And if it's not handed to me, then, that's wrong. Whereas it's actually not. That's not true. Success is a privilege. And you've got to be very grateful for it. And I think as a wealthy person is very grateful for the success they receive. Even if I guarantee you, if you look at a wealthy person and you don't think they're grateful, I bet you they are on some level. Because otherwise the wealth wouldn't come and stay. It's as simple as that. What do you think?
Absolutely. I watch people are often saying to me, more so in what I used to teach, property investing, people believe they deserved success. Now it's a case of, when I teach people now, they've come to the understanding that they've got to put a little bit of work into actually working out what's wrong in their minds to actually be able to go and fix it so they can get somewhere. But the people I used to work with before, a lot of them, they believed that they deserved it, and so it's a case of all of the time they were holding themselves back because they weren't grateful. What I teach people is look, you've got to be grateful where you are, and it's a case of wherever you are, be grateful that you're alive, grateful you're breathing, grateful that the day's started and it's a sunny day, it's a rainy day. Just be grateful, and it's a case of you create a state of gratitude in you, and effectively, what that does is, I know this is weird hocus pocus stuff, but what that effectively does is that creates more gratitude coming to you. Because if you're in that state, you're going to create more of it. Because you
get what you give.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's a case of you think you work with an entitlement mentality...
This might be a little bit too woo-woo, just so you know.
Oh, right. Okay.
Might be a little bit too spaced out.
Don't belittle your listeners, please. They are intelligent.
I do apologise.
We do apologise. I think he thinks he's part of the actors, but he's not.
No, I'm just totally lost train of thought now. So kick me back into it, right?
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
So what you were talking about is how the being grateful creates a vacuum for more gratefulness to come to you, or the opportunity to be more grateful.
Whereas it's a case of if you believe you're entitled to things, if you are going around with the attitude of I deserve this, why haven't I got it yet? Well, you are effectively creating more of that. You're going to get more of that situation. You have to get your mind into a position where it's a case of you're grateful where you are, and then you can be grateful when you get somewhere. People say it's about happy. It's the same thing as about happiness. People want happiness. Well, you're not going to be happy when you get there. You have to be happy now, and being happy now creates happiness forever. And you feed into it. If you watch people, as you watch somebody you've known throughout your life, you've seen them when they were 20, and it's a case of you watch them when they were 30 and then 40 and then 50, and you've seen these people because they're around everywhere, and they get steadily more negative as they go throughout life. And it's a case of it's not just it's a lack of gratitude, because if they're grateful that they're 20, if they're grateful they're 21, if they're grateful they're happy, right? It's a case of they're gonna create more of that. Yeah. Whereas it's a case of the more negativity they've got, when they were 20, then when they're 30, when they're 40, when they're 50, you see the negativity has snuck in, and all of a sudden, by the time they're 50, you've got an amazingly negative person. It's a case of they're not grateful for anything. People say to me, people write to me and say, I just haven't got anything to be grateful for. It's a case of
breathing, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a case of there is so much to be grateful for when you actually look at it. It's a case of to be grateful, you only have to start looking at people who haven't got what you want, haven't got anything, and they're grateful for that. So it's this is a culture that you can use. We're in the Western world. We can create things, but if we don't learn to stop thinking we deserve things, right, you're going to create more problems. You're going to create more lack in your life. Whereas if you're grateful, then you'll create more abundance in your life.
It's a vacuum, which is dangerous, and the more the momentum is, the harder it is to turn it around. And I was reading a study actually, and it said they did a study on children whose parents are not around because they're working or whatever, and the study said that children whose parents are not around when they're younger are less affected in terms of when they grow up and their personalities and all that other stuff, are less affected than those children who have got their parents around, but it's an unhappy environment. Right? Yes. They're less affected, which means the whole essence of having that mindset, it evolves and it creates a vacuum, and the momentum gets more and more as you get older. And if you can create an environment of happiness, of gratefulness when you're young, and you're around that when you're young, it's much easier to build on that. And I think if the best way for people to do that is not worry about yourself. I mean, why do you think one of the reasons why we're doing this show, this will outlive us, right? This video will outlive us, and hopefully people will watch it, and people what I mean.
Nasty word.
A swear word. Right? People will watch it long after we're gone and realize I need to be a bit more grateful around my children, around whoever. And that's why, I think it's important why we do this. How do you think people can, if they're in that vacuum of negativity?
It goes back again
of entitlement. Sorry.
Yeah, it goes back. It's a case of, well, why are you entitled?
Who told you that they have to give you success?
Yeah, where does this? It's a case of, when you've looked at something you've done and you've got it because you deserved it, because you worked not hard. I don't like the word hard, but it's a case of you worked at something and you put all your effort into it and you decided you're going to do it, and then you went and did it and you got it. Yeah, it's a case of you deserved it. Let's take passing a driving test or something like that. You got it and you deserved it. But it's a case of you weren't entitled to have a driving license. You had to put the work in to get it. And it's a case of that's what you have to do. You have to look at if you find yourself saying, I should have got that already. Why should you have? Have you done the things that you needed to do to make it happen?
No one owes you a life. And I think that's one thing that I'm trying to get across to a lot of people right now in my friends group, I should say. No one owes you anything. You've got to go out there and get it. It's not ready made for you to be there. You've got to want it in the first place. You can't just you can't just walk out and expect to fly in a private jet. You've got to go and want it firstly. So just understand that no one owes you anything. You got to go and manifest it, go and create it. Right, this
being
is happening.
On, so obviously we've slowed down a bit.
I think you should just jump in when you hear Andy say "it's a case of" for the 100th time.
Thank you.
I think you should just jump in.
From now on, I will, irregardless of.
That's now, Pete. That's bad English. Don't you think so?
I think it's Indian English. Mate.
They keep doing this, right? Because one time Pete saw me say irregardless instead of regardless.
About
that was only
times in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that was only because you'd heard him say it in the morning and it stuck
exactly.
in your mind.
It was all Pete's fault. So he's now thinking that he's got to tell me to correct my English when it was his fault in the first place. How rude of him.
Indeed.
Right, so I hope you guys take that away.
I trust.
Right, I trust you guys will take that away and understand that you really need to come out of the, oh no, that person needs to create success for me. Oh no, that person needs to give me this much money. And just come out of it, because life's much more better once you're much more grateful for what you have. Now, what we like to do next is discuss in part 2 what you can create once you have a success mindset, because everything becomes much more easier. So what are we talking about in this
Over the
segment?
man in the chair.
Man in the chair.
Next subject's about increasing productivity and how knowing what you want to increase will improve your productivity.
Eloquently spoken.
Better than an Oscar line, right? Right.
I can't remember what he said.
I was just laughing.
Would you care to repeat that again,
The
Pete?
next subject is how to teach Manesh to buy good quality ties and how a good quality tie will improve his chance of meeting the right woman. As we haven't got all day, we're going to focus on increasing productivity and how knowing what you want to increase will improve your productivity.
Irregardless, yeah.
Right,
Over to you,
okay.
Manesh, and that tie.
Thank you.
We don't need champagne, we just need Pete.
Right. Productivity. No, I've lost it again. I was there then. I was there for a second. I had it.
I've got it. Right. So, when you understand that you're grateful and you know what you want. A few episodes back, we talked about knowing what you want and not self-sabotaging yourself. Once this is all in line, what will happen is all the tasks that are wasting your time will evaporate, because you will only focus on. So you got 10 tasks to do. You will automatically, like a missile, highlight 3 tasks that you've got to do that will get you to your purpose, to knowing what you want to do. And what this does is you're doing 80% of the work in 20% of the time, because you're only focusing on those tasks. You're not allowing everything else to distract. So your productivity levels jump through the roof. And what that means is you can get more done, you can achieve more goals, you can achieve your process faster, and you can manifest much faster, whatever you want to do.
I think you've said it very, very well, mate.
There you go. What's the next topic?
I mean, your productivity is all about, people are in a rush. Yeah, everybody's in a rush, and it's a case of everybody's in a rush because they're afraid they're not going to get there. Yeah, but when you know what you want, you only work on the things that help you get there. So everything else falls away, and by default, your productivity increases. You don't have to go any faster. People look at it and go, "Oh, you've done so much and you've achieved so much." It's just like, no, I just knew what I wanted. So I just worked on what was helping me to get to wherever I want to go to. Because people say, well, you've done this, you've done that.
Because you've done the book, you've done the membership site, you've done all of this since what, October 2010?
No.
A bit before that?
Oh, no, it was later than that. I started in, I don't know, February 2010. But it was a case of I wasn't in a rush. No, that wasn't fast, right? What we used to do in business was fast. It's a case of what I do now is I'm enjoying every moment. So what I used to do before was I used to rush, and we did these businesses, and there was one particular business that Pete and I started a few years ago where we just basically we're going to do this business, and within 5.5 weeks our business opened and we were a lead story on ITV 9 o'clock news. It's a case of because we rushed and we put everything into place and that sort of thing, and it was like, yes, woohoo, we got it off the ground. And then Monday morning I decided I didn't want to do that business anymore. That's because I rushed. Now I've just taken about 6 weeks contemplating whether I should do one project or do another project first, and I spent 6 weeks thinking about it, which way was going to be the best strategically. And I didn't rush it. Now I could have just made a decision on that first day, and if I had, I can guarantee you I would have gone the wrong way. But because I spent my time thinking about it and just gave myself time to relax, it was a case of my productivity on it. So this is a prime example.
You're getting to the point.
Yeah, my productivity would have been immense for that 6 weeks going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So it's a case of I'd have gone over there when that wasn't helping me to get to my eventual goal. But because I sat still and I did nothing and I contemplated it, now my productivity is every day I'm doing 2 to 3 hours to get to my end goal, which is an immense goal. It's the equivalent of writing 2 books. What I'm attempting to do with this particular project, and it's a case of I'm doing that because I now know where I want to go, because I've given it enough thought. I've worked out exactly what I wanted to do. I know what I want to do next. What is the strategic best decision for me to do? And I'm able to just take continuous steps in that direction. Whereas what everybody does, what I used to do, was I used to rush and do lots and lots of stuff and basically get nowhere. So we spent 5.5 weeks, and you remember that time. It was an amazing event, wasn't it? It was unbelievable. But it was 5.5 weeks going completely the wrong direction. Completely the wrong way.
Yeah. So rather than wasting 5.5 weeks now, what you've done is you've spent time thinking about it, and now you can start afresh. And more importantly, you've got your purpose, you've got everything in line to do it. And I think this is something that I've been learning over the last, I would say 2.5 years-ish.
Well, since I've been educating you on it, you mean?
Excuse his ego. Obviously, the bug-free mind process hasn't worked.
I didn't say do what I do. I said do what I teach. Right?
Right. So over the last 2 years, since October 2010, that's sort of when we started launching Gold for Life.
Right, okay.
Because we had a definite purpose with what we wanted to do. It was much more strategically laid out. Gold for Life has had, in 2 years, just under 2 years, more progress in terms of exposure and what we've done, and the development of the product, development of the business, than what we've done over the previous 5 years with the other stuff that we were doing. And that only happens once you've got, I mean, people are saying, how have you been on stage with Richard Branson, Steve Wozniak, Sir Alan Sugar, and all these people? It's because when we started, we knew what we wanted to do. This was the plan. And that just laid in. It just came in when we needed it to happen. And the only way you can do that is once you know what your purpose is, and your productivity jumps through the roof.
We're going to keep coming back to this point about knowing, because until you know what you desire, you absolutely desire, it's just hot air coming out of me. Because until you take it and you go and you make that part of your life, right, it isn't going to make any difference.
Sorry, Pete said something. Pete had a funny expression on his face when you said there's hot air coming out of you.
Yes, it's coming out of this now.
Oh, right. I have no idea what Pete was saying. It was just funny. Right. I think you guys understand that. So, be clear on your purpose, get into a grateful mindset, and I think things will start turning around for you a lot, very, very fast as well. If you just take the time to deal with the other stuff, things will start coming at you very, very fast, and I think that's important. So, part 3, as you guys know, we're going to do a case study on a successful...
Pete, just open the chewing
just
gum.
Open the chewing gum
And put the chewing gum in your mouth. Very good.
There we go. Right? Part 3 is a case study. As you can tell, he's a director, not a producer. Hold on. I need to frame it first.
Part 3.
Part 3 is where we're going to talk about the case.
Unless I turn into Jim Henson any moment, in which case I'd be happy to watch a Muppet continue. I'm going to introduce part 3.
Go for it.
Now we're breaking ground this evening because we're going to do a case study on somebody with a bad mindset. And I don't believe we've ever done this before.
It's part of the show, Pete. It's part of the show.
You're the director.
Before the show, Pete's going, we covered that in the last show. It's like, no, that's part of the show, right?
But this guy actually brought in this case study personally a few moments ago, and he's waiting outside. We might
bring him onto the show.
Later on. But he's a close friend of Andy and Manesh, and I'll describe him later so you've got a better idea who it is. But over to you guys.
Thank you.
That was just the worst pre-frame in the
It
world.
was awful. But
Sorry,
yeah.
I will recoup on this. Right, that was just terrible. Like I'm sitting here going, "When's he gonna start?" I thought he was joking up until the end. Right. Anyway, okay. So somebody sent in a great case study after hearing the show on internet marketing, and you guys know you can send these in via the website just by commenting on the post. And
He also happens to be a friend of ours.
he also happens to be a friend, but he just wanted to know how to take things to the next level. So we're gonna call. He told us not to use his name, so we're gonna call him Mr. X. Right,
Yes.
Mr. X. Right.
Mr. X.
This seems much more. Right. Anyway. Right. So we're gonna call him Mr. X, and he said in a case study about what he's been doing, and why he hasn't managed to break ground. And I think, well, you continue.
No.
All right, cool. So what the problem with Mr. X is what are you laughing for? I don't get it. I just don't get it. No?
Just carry on,
then,
mate. Just
right.
carry on.
So
You forgot what you're supposed to say.
No, I haven't. The problem with Mr. X is
I've got an idea, Manesh. When you fall over, look at me as if I'm distracting you. That'll help. Because although I'm very rarely in the room with you, you can always blame me when you've got nothing to say.
it's my failure mindset. What can I say?
So I'll be back in about 15, guys. Okay?
Please excuse my two friends here. Manesh will now
Hopefully
carry
we'll
on.
get to the point
Hopefully,
soon. Right. Yeah, I'm very doubtful about this. I used the right
Just get on
word
with
there.
it. Just get on with it.
Right. So Mr. X. The problem with Mr. X is he's been in the internet marketing field for, I would say, 4 or 5 years now. He knows all the big internet marketers, but he hasn't managed to break ground himself. And I think one of the reasons is, again, what we covered earlier. He has a very entitlement-based mentality, which is, I'm an internet marketer, therefore I should be successful, which is not right. I mean, he's been doing affiliate marketing. He's been doing, whatever happens with affiliate marketing. We don't really do any affiliate marketing. So
I've done it. But
yeah, you've done it, right? So we don't, setting up ads and then sending them to affiliate offers. We haven't done any of that. So, yeah, you have. So, yeah, so obviously you're not doing it now, so it failed miserably, yeah?
No.
So you haven't done any.
Kidding,
yet.
I'm kidding.
Test, you
Relax.
You haven't done any, but Andy has.
Yeah.
Can we move on? And Andy's didn't fail miserably.
It was a test.
It was a test.
Okay, right. So,
Which didn't produce very good results.
there you go.
Thank God it was a test.
And not one of these 5.5 week businesses that you set up. Right. I'm sure we're going to get to this case study at
Well,
some
if you get your
point.
finger out and get on with it, yeah.
Right.
For a boy racer, you're not doing much,
I'm
speed
just
of
not
getting there.
fast at all today.
Go on.
Right. So, like I was saying, he's got a very entitlement-based mentality. He's been doing all these different things, and because he feels, from reading the case study, because you highlighted that you know all of these people, I think one of the limiting factors that you've got is that by you expecting to know all these people, you expect to make money because that's how the industry is sold.
Yeah.
You know all the right people, so you're going to make the money. Get connected, know the big boys, and you're going to make money. It's not like that. I think what you really need to do is take another look at the value proposition you're bringing to the industry
Exactly.
and the value that you're offering in business, and know that just by being connected and friends with certain people, it doesn't mean you're going to make money.
Yeah, he's the nicest possible way, because obviously I know the gentleman. It's all about value. It's what we covered. I think it was in the last show, and it's all about not. It's looking at it from the go to get point of view. It's a case of going to grab as much money as he can, but it's not enough care for the clients, the customers. And what he's doing is he's boosting that up in his mind to say, yes, I am caring. Yes, I am caring.
That's the ego working.
And it is. It's a case of, but the true fact of the matter is, it's a case of you just have to design what he's doing. You have to go and design what you're doing to effectively make sure that your customers get more than you promised.
Yeah.
It's always over delivering. It's a case of you don't do just enough. The internet marketers, all have this ability of doing just enough to get paid, and then you wonder why 30, 40, 50% of people ask for refunds. It's a case of they ask for refunds because it's like, well, yes, it just about does it. But no, it's a case of you over deliver. I always look at it as a case of, like, if somebody pays me $1, I want to give them at least $100 of value. I want to over deliver. And when they get it, when they think, well, we're going to get all of this, I say I often ask people, one of the questions, I have a regular survey that goes out to people who've bought my stuff. I say to them, did every word of my advertising, was it all true? Did I deliver on, or did I under deliver, or did I over deliver? It always comes back, I've over delivered everything, because it's a case of that's my mindset. My mindset is I want to over deliver. Before I go and do a presentation somewhere, I want to know that I'm going to deliver extreme value to the room, because it's a case of I always intend to over deliver. I don't look at it and go, oh, that's enough. I never look at it from that's enough. But it's endemic with a lot of people who are struggling to be internet marketers who've been in it for a few years. It's a go-to-get mentality. Yep. And it's a case of they've got to just relax on it, and it's a case of go to give. Because the more you get that attitude of, oh, I'm going to give more, I'm going to give more value, I'm going to give more value, guess what? You get more value as well.
And it has to be, and I think this whole giving element, the value proposition is done very wrongly, because the way we look at it is we're going to give not just a bunch of crap because we think it's worth it. We're going to give what the customer values. Yeah. We're not going to, something that I think is worth £10 might be to our customers worth £1,000.
We had a discussion earlier today.
Exactly.
And it was we had this discussion, it was a case of we were looking at this particular product that two people we knew were selling. And it was a case of we were looking at it thinking, well, why are they selling so many of this product that people didn't need? It's a product that people didn't need. Whereas a product like Manesh's is something that people need. It's a case of it's the most efficient bank account in the world. I think is a great way of describing it. So
I'll make a note of that actually. That was pretty good.
Yeah. So it's a case of it's something people need. Therefore, you write.
I'm going to write it down right now.
Well, it's being recorded, mate. So what effectively is going on is we were selling effectively something people need, whereas what these two guys were doing, what we didn't realise, is they were selling something people wanted, and this is why it was a very, very effective sell for something that they didn't need. Now we couldn't, it was like, so we sat for about 5 minutes. We go, why is that? Why is that? And then Pete, surprised us all, by actually nutshelling it. And what people were buying with that product was they were buying respect. Yeah, from their peer group, from their people around them, by buying that product, which is no good to them at all.
Right now in their career.
We're
not saying that when we reference people, it's not. We don't mean that they're selling crap.
No.
What we mean is they're not selling something that's valuable to most people now.
Yeah,
right? That's what.
Because we're into results. Yeah, it's a case of you go to we're like medicine. Yeah, you go to a medicine. You want to buy a medicine. You want to buy something you need. You buy a medicine to get a result. Yeah, we're not into the feel good side of things. We're into results. Yeah. Whereas what this product is effectively it's a feel good product. Yeah. Now this particular product I'd want myself, but it's a case of I haven't done it yet because it's a case
it's not right. You're not ready for it.
I'm not ready for it yet, and I'm a lot further down the road than the vast majority of people who are going for this particular product. So we looked at it and it was a case of, and Pete nailed it, and we said, well, what do they want then? Pete said, well, they're looking for respect.
They're buying the respect. And this is one thing that I think Mr. X should actually look at as well. Why are you in the internet marketing field? A lot of people are in it because they want the respect from all the other people that are in the internet marketing field, saying that they want, saying that they're certain types of people.
So this is an egoic trend.
Yeah.
And it's a case of while you're chasing that, you just, it's a case of great leaders just basically go and do it. They don't look to be respected by people or that sort. They just do it. It's a case of I never realised I was a good leader until one day, all of a sudden, it just became so obvious to me that I was. I wasn't looking for the respect of people. I was actually trying to cower in the corner and just basically sit there and let somebody else do it. But I didn't have a choice because the person couldn't lead, so I had to take it over.
I think one of the things that I just want to let our viewers into, as a main stage speaker, you haven't done main stage stuff yet, which you're gonna do, and you're gonna go
as in main stage.
Sorry, okay, let me reconnect. You haven't done a lot of that stuff yet.
No, I haven't done a lot
which
of it.
You're gonna be doing.
I have no interest in doing a lot of it, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do a lot.
No, you're gonna do it. He's gonna do a lot of stuff like that. But having done it for 5 years, I would say now, you got to be very careful when you're sitting in the audience, because speakers, and I've seen people manage to get people to buy things that they don't need right now and they don't really want. And one of the things that you need to be very careful of is when your ego is being fed by the speaker to get you to buy something. And that's something that you really, really, really need to be careful of when you're sitting in a room, in a seminar room.
This goes back to Mr. X again. He's chasing, he's chasing
significance.
Yeah, he's chasing significance. He's chasing the illusion. It's a case of it's not external. You've got to get it right here before you step forward. And it's a case of it's very very tricky to explain exactly without saying too many details. But he's basically got to become more contented with his position of where he is now, and then just look at it from an abundance point of view, creating value, and you get that into your every being. So it's a case of go to give, go to create more value. Get used to the fact of paying, delivering more than you're paid to deliver. Yeah, deliver. You know, because once you get that into your mindset, it's one of the keys to success.
Yeah, right. So just as a summary, what do you think Mr. X should do to right now start changing?
Well, it's a questioning thing again, isn't it? It's a case of, is this of value to me? Why am I annoyed that I've not got anywhere? Right? Okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I chasing? And then it's just breaking down each part of what you're doing. You know, you should go through the bug-free process, but you know, it's a case of, because he hasn't figured out completely what he wants. He just wants to make money. Yeah, and while he just wants to make money, he's never going to make a success of it, right? But you know, it's like when I set the goal of being wanting to be a millionaire, I was in love with the idea of having the title of a millionaire. So it wasn't about the money. It was a case of I just wanted that title, so I knew what I wanted. Yeah. Whereas at the moment, it's a case of he wants to make money, but he's going to wanting to make money. He's going from a state of needing to make money. You know, it's a case of this isn't about income. He makes enough income. That isn't an issue at all. It's a case of he hasn't made a major breakthrough.
And also people haven't recognised it.
Yeah.
Recognised the success.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had a friend who, another friend who basically set himself an almost unachievable target. And at the end of the first year, he'd achieved 75% of a monetary target, which was astonishing for somebody in the internet marketing world. And he was beating himself up, right? And it's a case of this monetary target was hundreds of thousands of pounds, you know, but it wasn't quite to where he wanted it to get to. But he got 75% of it. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. But to him, he was a failure. You know, and it's a case of, you know, I spoke with him and I helped his mindset out of it, because it's a case of he should view himself as a success, because it's an amazing success. He made several hundred thousand in his first year. That's a resounding success in the internet marketing world. But because he'd set his target at X and he only achieved Y, to him he was a failure.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, right, now stop that. Right, let's look at it from we've achieved that, so next year we're going to make it even better. But because it's everyone's under a rush, or I've got to do this, I've got to do this, they don't look at it and go, well, actually this is really cool.
There's I'm just going to end on a Zen quote from a Zen poem. You can go and read it. It's I think it's called the Need of Man, if you go and research it on Google. But the last two lines of that poem are very important. It says, the need to win drains him of power. And I think that's something that Mr. X and everybody else needs to pay attention to. Don't need to win.
It's just a case of, you're just going to keep going until it succeeds. You don't need to beat other people to it or anything like that. Other people aren't the issue. You're the issue.
Yep.
Focus on you. Get you right. Get your mind right. And you will achieve everything you desire to achieve. It just might not be in the exact time scale you're looking to achieve it.
Time's nothing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So all you've got to do is just make an irrevocable decision. You are going to keep going until you get there. And then you just keep going.
Yep. All right. I think that's a pretty good episode, that one. Cool. I think that was... well,
we lost our way a bit.
We lost our way a bit, but, you know, Pete, our director, made us laugh.
He pulled us back in.
And pulled us back in. Right. On that note, we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thanks very much.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.